Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie, and again, we are not doing a cover today. Okay, we're not doing a cover today. I got some big things coming down the pipeline, and they're not even going to be necessarily posted on this channel, but that's neither here nor there, okay? Today, I figured it'd be another little bit of a talking video. I just want to say thank you so much for the reception on my other video. I did not expect more than like 20 views on that video. So the fact that it's almost at 500 is like a lot. And for me, being mostly this channel, mostly being like a music channel and like a cover channel, to have people support me enough to watch that bullshittery is like, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support on that. And it's encouraged me to do more stuff like that. So like this. Today we're gonna be going through some frequently asked questions that I get frequently asked. What a concept. I'm not gonna be doing this while doing my makeup. I will list everything in the description or in a pinned comment just so that you know. And do I remember everything I used today? No. I will try my best to make sure that everything is correct. So I have 12 questions here. I don't know if that's a lot. I don't know if that's enough. And they range from basically just like music stuff to makeup stuff to just like general life stuff. But these are the questions that I get asked a lot, like every single time I go live, someone asks these questions. Every time I post like an Instagram or like a story, someone asks these questions. Every time I post a cover, someone asks these questions. So these are questions that are just like, they get asked frequently, thus frequently asked questions. I have them all written down here. Look at my cute little heading. Isn't it cute? Okay, first question, and I'm gonna start with just like the makeup ones or just like my life ones. So the first one is, what do you use for your eyebrows? Which is hilarious because I didn't think this through and I'm not using what I usually use on my eyebrows. So typically right now, the reason why they're not red is because my actual hair color has grown through. For those of you who don't know, I bleach my eyebrows and I pluck half of them so that I can have nice like angry tails. Listen, Jenna Marbles did it, I can do it too. And so I usually bleach them. They're very grown in right now. My actual eyebrows are very thick and very dark. So I bleach them so I still have like the hair-like look because I'm not very good at drawing in hair stroke. And then it just keeps like I still have some semblance of brow without just completely shaving it all off. What I usually use over top of that is the KVD Super Pomade in Scarlet 120. You can get this on Sephora. A little goes a long way. You don't need to use a lot. Kind of hard to work with. It's definitely a learning curve. So if you want to use these, they have a bunch of different colors. They have red, green, blue, yellow, white. I have the white one here too. So I would highly recommend checking that out. Next we have, what hair dye do you use? What's in my hair, like my actual hair? So this is my actual hair. These are extensions. The extensions have what I usually use. What is in my hair right now is trash. It's not trash. If you like it, great. But Arctic Fox, what I have in my hair right now is Arctic Fox Poison. I do it myself. I do my hair myself, but I use Poison by Arctic Fox. It's just like their generic, like orangey red, like their true red and not too dark. But what I like to use, the Good Dye Young semi-permanent hair color in Rock Lobster, most of it like 85%, and then a smidge of Riot because I like a red toned red. I mean, an orange toned red. This is what I usually use. I really like it. I actually do have, oh my God, I can link things back. It's on a different channel. That's fine. I actually did do a review of this hair dye when I first tried it, and I didn't know how I felt about it, but the staying power of these is way better than Arctic Fox. So 10 out of 10, recommend these. And then lastly, for like makeup and life, what state do you live in? Aside from the one of complete existential crisis and anxiety, I don't live in a state. If you don't know, I am from Canada land. I'm Canadian. I live in a province, British Columbia. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, now we're gonna get into the music stuff. You know, the bread and the butter. Just got all that other stuff out of the way. You had to watch through it. You're welcome. And now we're getting into the bread and butter, what everyone actually wants to know. So the first two, by far, the two that are asked the absolute most, which is fair. How long have you been screaming and how did you learn to scream? I'll start with how did you learn to scream? And then I'll get into how long I've been screaming for. I learned how to scream through trial and error. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I watched the Zen of Screaming a couple times and I kind of like went from there. When it hurt, I stopped sometimes and just kind of like figured it out basically on my own. I'm pretty self-taught when it comes to the screams that I usually use. But I didn't have like a coach until recently. Hey Mark, how you doing? And I basically just used YouTube. I've been learning to scream for 6 years, or no, I think I talked about this in my last video, my metal journey. Basically, I've been on and off screaming since I was about 20, but I didn't really get serious into screaming until 6 years ago. And then I didn't get into deathcore vocals until literally like a year and a half, 2 years ago. A lot of like different points in my life. I would say like definitively if someone asks me how long I've been screaming for, I'll say 6 years because that's pretty much how long it's been. The next question is, do you teach / can you teach me how to scream? The short answer is no. I've talked about this on my TikTok a couple times, but I really don't feel comfortable teaching people. I used to give tips and tricks and I don't do that anymore. The reason why is because I've realized that the technique that I use is not for everybody. I don't really know how to tailor things to people. I only know how to do things for me in a way that works for me. I don't really know like other techniques or other ways to do things that would suit other people. And I don't want to be the reason that someone messes up their voice because I decided to teach them something that doesn't work for them. That's why I don't teach. However, if you would like to be taught and you would like to have a coach, here are some lovely people that you can definitely check out. I've had a lot of women specifically ask me for options of other women to teach them. So first two are Kayla Dixon. If you can find her on Instagram, she teaches harsh vocals. And then there's also Iris. She also teaches harsh vocals. And then I personally go to Spiritbox Academy or Mark. He's great. I've had a really good experience with him. He makes you feel very comfortable. He doesn't make you feel, I don't know how to explain it. He's just very chill. Like if you do something wrong, it doesn't feel like a big deal, which for me is like a big thing. He's also extremely good at visualizing and explaining things, and he has different ways of getting you to where you need to be. So if something doesn't work for you, he has other tricks up his sleeve that like help you get to where you need to be, which I don't have. So that's why I don't teach. And then lastly, you have Extreme Vocal Institute run by David. I've heard a lot of good things about him as well. So there are options out there. So even if I'm not teaching, there are options out there. So please don't hesitate to reach out and see which one works for you. One thing I will say is it is expensive. It does cost money. However, one thing that I will say is that I am currently unlearning bad habits, which is harder than learning something new from scratch correctly. So I would highly recommend at least going to a couple of lessons just to get your foundation down, and then you can go from there. Because I'm unlearning bad habits that I've made in screaming, which sucks. Which sucks. Again, I would recommend it even though it is like a little bit pricey. So the answer is no. I don't teach, but there are options. Next question is, what is your range? I'm assuming people ask me this when it comes to like my singing range. I believe my lowest is a D3 or a D sharp 3, and my highest is a D6, and that's not like a pretty note. Like that's not pretty. I'm getting there, but it's not pretty. So that's my singing range. The next question is, are you in a band? I get this all of the time. Are you in a band? Are you in a band? Do you have a band? Are you in a band? Are you in a band?
Are you in a band?
Are you in a band, dude?
Are you in a band? Here's a twist. I'm in two. The first one is KOSM, KOSM. We are I don't know how to explain what we are. I would just say a progressive metal band, though we are shifting like our sound a little bit after the album that we're currently working on. We're a progressive metal band. Like if you really like Tool, Mastodon, Gojira, like that kind of stuff, even like this new stuff that we're gonna be coming out with, it's not like that at all. I really don't know how to explain it. But anyway, KOSM is progressive metal band. KOSM is, we got the name of KOSM through Bloodborne. So KOSM is only mentioned once in the entire game, and it's by a douchebag named Mikolash. And the line is,
KOSM. Or some say KOSM.
And KOSM is basically just like an elder god in the Bloodborne universe. And we thought it sounded cool, and we can put it in all caps and it kind of looks cool, but then people think that it's a radio station. 101.4 KOSM. Like that's what people think it is. It's not, it's KOSM. It's a name. I'm also in a band called Don't Deserve a Grave. We only have 2 singles out right now. It's a blackened hardcore band. It's all screaming. It's very like chainsaw, left hand rap pedal bullshittery. We call it Burglar Grind. It's just a lot more straightforward than KOSM. Easier for me to write, and it's a lot of fun. I would ask you to check out both of those. They're both on Spotify, linked down below if you want to check them out. But yeah, I'm in 2 bands. You're welcome. One thing I will say is that KOSM is going to be playing at 2 festivals this summer. One is this weekend. Sorry. In Armstrong. It's called Armstrong Metal Fest. So we're gonna be playing on the Saturday at 1:50. So if you live in Armstrong, BC, come say hi. And then We're also playing Loud as Hell Festival, which is on July 29th until August 1st. And we are playing on the Sunday. So if you want to come out to that, that's in Drumheller, Alberta. Come say hi if you're around. If you want, I'm not gonna force you. It's fine if you don't want to come. It's fine. It's fine. No hard feelings. This next one, I remember writing it down and being really salty about it. So this next one is, do you know Jinjer, Spiritbox, insert other well-known female-fronted band? Oh, you mean the two bands that have women who front them that are actually doing really well and pretty mainstream and playing these really big festivals that literally aren't underground at all anymore and everyone knows who they are?
Shut your bubblegum dumb looking ass.
Yes! The answer is yes. Yes, the answer is yes. Literally when people ask me this question, I know that I'm responding to it like pretty facetiously, but really like it comes to a point where it's like, you are also a woman? You are also a woman who screams? Do you know this other band that has a woman in it that also screams? That's really well known. I know I'm being kind of a dick about it, but it gets to, you know, my patience for it is very small at this point, okay? It's very small. Now, if you send me like a band that actually has like not a lot of views on YouTube and not a lot of streams on Spotify, the answer might be no. But as someone who is very passionate about expanding representation, which includes women, in the metal scene, I probably will. I don't want to say that like pretty too cockily, but I probably do know them. But please, like if there is like a band that's like not well known, please send it my way. Love it. So the next question is, what gear do you use? I'm a vocalist. I don't use gear. I have no gear. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna take this as like the gear that I use when I'm live, but also like the gear that I use to record at home, because I've had that as well. So the DAW I use is Reaper. It's free, but we bought it. So that's the DAW that I use. For those of you who don't really understand what DAWs are, because who knows, like maybe you're really just getting into it and you're not totally sure about the terminology. DAWs are basically like the software that you actually use to record on. So like there's Pro Tools, Ableton, and then Reaper, and I use Reaper. I also do use plugins for my screams. I know, oh my God, how dare I use EQ? The plugin that I've used is the Joey Sturgis Screamer Starter, which basically just kind of like EQs everything, brings it up in the mix, makes it really nice and clean. That plugin is a part of a bigger pack, which is the Howard Benson Vocal Pack. I can list it down below as well. It's gonna run you about $100, but it's got a ton of presets on there and it's beautiful. And then I use, for my interface, for my computer, we just use the Focusrite Scarlett. It's the cheapest one that you can find, but it works great and it's great for what we need it for. And then the microphone that I use is the SM7B, which will cost you a pretty penny, but it is a great fucking microphone. I love recording with that thing. It's perfect. It's great. It makes me sound so good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. As for my in-ears, what is my in-ear gear? I use the Shure. It's a Shure. It's Shure. I use Shure microphones too. Like most of the time, that's like my choice. Which one do I use? Which one? Which one? Which one? Hold please. Hold please. Hold please. The Shure, this is a lot of numbers and letters. PSM 300 wireless in-ear system. It comes with the headphones, it comes with the actual transmitter, and it comes with the pack. And the pack is metal instead of plastic. So if you're gonna invest, the other one is cheaper. It's a $969 Canadian. It's the plastic pack. I would just invest the extra like $150 to get the metal pack instead. Anyway, that's what I use. It's great. 10 out of 10. It served me well. And then lastly, the last question on the list that I get frequently asked is, what are your favorite bands? That's such a loaded question. What are your favorite bands? Bitch, I don't know. Right now, it's Within Destruction, Black Tongue. I really still love Spiritbox. Wage War is getting up there. Wage War is coming up. Coming up hot. But yeah, I would say those four right now are like top of mind. And of course there are bands that have like shaped me, and I talked about this again in my metal journey, like Evanescence, The Agonist, Whitechapel, Avenged Sevenfold. Periphery is one that I didn't really talk about. I love Periphery. They're one of my favorite bands as well. Anything that's just chunky. I really like Thal and Gent. and anything core. I'm a metalcore kid at heart. I'm a deathcore kid at heart. Give me all that. That this answered some of your questions and that you found this entertaining. These are the frequently asked questions that I get the most. If you have any others, please don't hesitate to put them down below. Maybe I can do like a part 2 if people really want to, I don't know. But these are the things that usually come up whenever I go live or on Instagram or on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe. Again, leave a comment down below if there are any other questions that you would like me to answer. What is the other stuff that people, oh, ring the bell? That's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. So long, fare thee well, bye-bye. Can you quit your pacing? You're pacing, why are you pacing?